On behalf of the Environmental Information Awareness Capacity Building and Livelihood Programme, EIACP Hub, Kerala, functioning within the Kerala State Council for Science, Technology and Environment, I extend a very warm and hearty welcome to all the participants who have joined us for today's webinar, being organized in connection with the World Mangrove Day. So as we all know, mangroves are one of the most valuable elements in the coastal ecosystem. And with our state, Kerala, having a coastline of more than 500 kilometers, so the mangroves are one of the very valuable resources of our state in protecting our coastline and also in the ecological balance of our ecosystem. So as climate change and human activities threaten these fragile ecosystems, the EIACP Peechi Hub Kerala considers it as important that we should create awareness on promoting the conservation of these mangroves. And we have organized this webinar with that goal in connection with the World Mangrove Day. So it is my great pleasure to invite our esteemed member secretary, Dr. P. Harinarayanan. He was actually, the EIACP Hub was functioning under his leadership a couple of months back. So, and under his leadership, this hub is recognized as one of the most performing hubs in the country. And so I invite Dr. P. Harinarayanan to this webinar. Welcome, sir. And it is my great pleasure to introduce our distinguished speaker, Dr. P. Sujanapal, Senior Principal Scientist at the Kerala Forest Research Institute, Peechi, Thrissur. And I'm very happy that one of our colleagues, that is one of the scientists within the KSCSTE umbrella, has come forward to deliver this lecture, very important lecture. Dr. Sujanapal is a renowned forest ecologist and an expert in plant diversity, forest ecosystems, and mangrove conservation. He's undertaken a great deal of research in mangrove conservation, the findings of which I expect that he would share during his webinar. So I'm indeed privileged to have him with us today to share his valuable insights on this important subject. And I welcome all the participants to this webinar, and I am pretty confident that today's session titled Mangroves and its Conservation Along the Malabar Coast will provide all of us with a deeper understanding of the ecological importance of mangroves and also inspire us to conserve the mangroves in our state. So once again, I extend a very warm welcome to our esteemed speaker, our member secretary, and all the dear participants. And I wish you all an informative and engaging session. Thank you. And I invite our member secretary Dr. P. Harinarayanan, to deliver his introductory remarks on this webinar. Welcome.
So, good morning to one and all. My friend Dr. Sujanapal, Dr. Sharing, and other participants. We know that 26th of July is celebrated as Mangrove Day. Of course, we are a day late. Still, we are hosting this program just to create an awareness on the importance of mangroves and the ecosystem services it provides to all of us. As already mentioned, Kerala was once a huge area was covered under mangrove, which has been come down drastically, and we are trying to protect what else is still there. There is not much improvement, though there is only a very small improvement in the last few years in the total area of mangrove. We are worried about the losses all over the world, the mangrove losses all over the world, which is actually affecting the ecosystem services provided by this group of plants. And I hope that Dr. Sujanapal will be giving us a very important lecture on the importance of mangrove, especially he is hailing from Kannur district, where we have the largest area under mangrove ecosystem still now. And he will be deliberating on the ecosystem services along with the need of protecting this ecosystem. With these few words, I just request Dr. Sujanapal to continue. Dr. Sujanapal, please.
Okay, thank you, sir. Respected Member Secretary Dr. P. Harinarayan, Dr. Sherin, and my dear friends, very good morning to all of you. So, as we mentioned earlier, as our member secretary rightly pointed out, the mangroves, the unique ecosystem along the coastal belt, especially along the Malabar coast, is very unique in its phytosociology and in all the other aspects. I will explain with a few slides. So, the presentation mainly focused on two major topics which we have to address. One is which are what are the mangroves and what is the peculiarities and what is the distribution pattern and other unique features of mangroves along the Malabar coast and the beautiful uh, Lakshadweep, Maldives, and Chagos archipelagos. My slides are visible or hello?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me or is the
Yes, sir.
slides are visible?
visible.
Okay, okay. Again, I think my friends, most of them are from Kerala or from outside.
Kerala, sir. Most of them are from Kerala.
Most of them are from. So, which language will be
English.
us? Because as communicated earlier, I said more that we can mix it both English and Malayalam. Which one is?
You can
Which
mix
one
it
you
with
prefer?
Malayalam is also okay, sir. Because everybody is from within Kerala also. Kerala.
Actually, your voice is breaking.
Sir, you
Yeah.
can communicate. You can communicate in English or Malayalam, sir.
Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you. Uh, Mangroves, so that as you all know, mangroves are the tidal swamp forest. As per the champion and said, mangroves are the tidal swamp forest. It's otherwise the evergreen forest along the coastal line of all the tropical belt. And this peculiar vegetation is a as you all know, this unique vegetation, it's a very peculiar habitat with a high salinity, the peculiarity in salinity, and all other extreme climatic condition. These are the unique group of plants, and is clearly indicated here in this mangrove forests are comprised taxonomically diverse, salt tolerant trees and other plant species which thrive because as you know, in many cases, especially for the students, they are saying that in the case of mangroves they will say, or the amateurs they will say, mangroves, the number of mangroves in Kerala is less than 4 or 5, but we have diverse mangroves, like more than 15 species of mangroves. So that will I will explain why, what are the mangroves, and how we can define this mangroves in this area. And this is the thrive in intertidal salts of sheltered tropical shores, islands and estuaries. And with respect to its habit means, usually in most of our administrators or some other students, they are all using the mangroves for the trees, but we have diverse group of true mangroves from herbaceous up to shrubs and trees, and mangrove trees are specially adapted, and this group of organism plants are specially adapted aerial and salt filtering roots and salt excreting leaves that enabled them to occupy the saline wetlands where other plants, plant life cannot survive. And these are the major features. These slides are for the beginners. As you know, we have so many students from different categories of the academic areas. So the main features is the habitat is a fragile and complex ecosystem found in ecotone areas. Ecotone means the coastal belt and the terrestrial habitat, and the plants composed of halophytes, and restricted its distribution along the tropical and subtropical regions only, and mostly absent in temperate countries. And usually, as I mentioned earlier, what is happening in our area while dealing with mangroves, most of them indicates the trees as mangrove ecosystem, but mangrove ecosystem composed of the trees along with the shrubs and its surrounding aquatic habitat, and special soil is required for this uh, unique group of plants along these ecotone areas. And broadly, the mangroves, the plants in this region, we can broadly categorized into two. One is true mangroves, having all the peculiarities of like pneumatophores or salt excreting mechanism, and associated plants, which will thrive well in other areas of the terrestrial habitat, like we have Morinda or so many other species. Yeah, as you know, this coastal belt is a thickly populated area, and in many cases, especially while talking about the conservation of mangroves along our coastal belts, everybody is saying that it's a Herculean task. But mangrove conservation, is it a Herculean task? Never, because see, this is the photograph from Mumbai, Vasai Creek from Mumbai. These mangroves, very good patch of mangroves is encircling around the Mumbai city. Actually, these mangroves protect the entire Mumbai city, this metro city, from the flood or so many of the extreme climatic conditions. And these area are rich in fish resources, and also the having of migratory birds, including the flamingos, and this diverse type of migratory birds. These are the lesser or greater flamingos. Photographs from the Vasai Creek, and many interesting species are there along this habitat. The one is Soneratia apetala, which is restricted to the northern part of the Malabar coast. As we are talking about the mangroves and its peculiarities along the Malabar coast and Maldives, Lakshadweep archipelago, the first one is an a multi-purpose nutraceutical species which is restricted towards the northern side of Malabar coast. Actually, in Maharashtra and up to Goa, you can see the species. What we have some other two species in our southern region, and this is an interesting species which is an associate in mangrove habitat of northern part of Malabar coast, that is towards the Maharashtra. This is meswak, Salvadora persica, and this area is interesting because of the so many unique salt palms are there along this mangrove habitat. These are all multi-purpose areas. And with respect to the mangroves in our island ecosystem, as you all know, uh, uh, these unique islands are from the Lakshadweep. We have around 32 or 34 islands. And in Maldives, it's a unique island. It's a submarine mountain range. The islands of in the top of the submarine mountain range, and this uh, uh, around 1,400 islands are there in Maldives, and in Chagos, it's a military base. And in most of the areas, as you know, among the 34 islands in Lakshadweep, around 11 are inhabited, and among the 1,400 islands in Maldives, around 400 are inhabited. Around all other islands are typically, we can say it's a virgin island for mangroves. These are unique plants. I will explain more about because uh, uh, we have to discuss more about the peculiarities of mangroves in Kerala. And with respect to mangrove conservation, we are all talking about the restoration or coastal belt as you are facing, or as you all know, we are facing extreme conditions around along our coastal belt, coastal erosion, saltwater intrusion, and the declining of our fish resources. See, as I discussed earlier, our island ecosystem, when compared to Kerala in our Malabar coast or in the Kerala coast, They are small islands containing around 2 square kilometer area along the submarine, the top of a submarine mountain range, and maximum 4 square kilometer with an altitude of maximum 2 meter from the sea level. But how they are conserving this mangroves? Here you can this photograph show how they are utilizing this vegetation, mangroves and mangrove association for conserving these small islands, which is above just 2 meter above the sea level. And you can compare what is happening in Kerala. The lower two slides in the lower part, it's very clearly indicate that how what is happening in Kerala and other regions, especially in the island ecosystem near to the Malabar coast. And this is the see here in the western in Kerala or in the mainland, we have the unique combination of diverse plants from moist to deciduous or the coastal up to the sholas. However, in island ecosystem, there's a unique combination of this natural native combination of pandanus or coconut or some other mangrove species. It's all other combination of a mangrove and its associates. This is a photograph from Lakshadweep and this is from Lakshadweep and this is from Maldives. The peculiarity of the coral, as you all know, the peculiarity in the coastal belt, the sands. This is a center of coral reefs. So the beautiful, the white colored sands along with the blue sea up to the spreading across the horizon, and the beautiful trees including mangroves are spread over this island ecosystems. And these are the different type of combinations of mangroves and its associates there in that islands. Here you can clearly visible that how this habit, these plants or combination of plants when compared to our granite or tetrapod balls in our coastal system to protect them from the soil coastal erosion, how they are beneficially using the cost effective manner, how they are utilizing these plant resources or vegetation or bioshield to protect from the extreme conditions in our from the sea. And see the coastal belt, as I mentioned earlier. So this is a thickly, our coastal belt is a thickly populated area, and many important species are there along this unique coastal ecosystem, which includes true mangrove and mangrove associates. This is one such species. Its name is Femphis acidula in Malayalam, or in Lakshadweep language, it's Thalam. If we analyze the records of the Britishers, you can see very well the distribution of Femphis acidula along the Malabar coast. However, if you explore, if you assess the current distribution pattern along the Malabar coast, it's totally or a locally extant species from our area, entire Malabar coast and Coromandel coast, in their peninsular Indian coast. And this is the condition happening here in Kerala. This is the flower of that plant. Say a few populations are there in our Lakshadweep and in Maldives. And a very unique species. This is a Warringtonia asiatica. It is common in islands, but it's not so far recorded from the mainland. A few plants are there in some of the areas, and these are all the center of very unique plants. These are all plants, Suriana maritima, or this Pemphis acidula, and so many other species of Boraginaceae, and which is common in island ecosystem, which are not so far not known from our mainland. And the other important question is, as the mangrove are small, yeah, in many cases all we are agree with me that usually small, if we assess the phytosociological pattern, the habit of the mangroves along the Malabar coast and in the even in Sundarbans or Pichavaram or in Mumbai or in Kerala, the maximum height of this most of these mangroves are around 10 or 15 meters. But this is a photograph from Maldives, a virgin island in Maldives. So the height up to just like an evergreen tree, it grows up to 20, 25 or 30-meter tall. This is a species of Brugira. Many interesting species are there in this ecosystem also. And here you can clearly witness the size of this brujir. The tall trees are there, and with us, as you know, this is an mangrove associate and a very good species to develop as a bioshield along our coastal region. So many other species are there with this species. This is the common scene in Kerala. This is a common mangrove uh, growth pattern in Kerala. This is a rhizophora, and if we specifically analyze the structure and diversity and structure and the ecosystem services of our the mangroves in Kerala, as you know, around more than 50 percentage of mangroves are in private area or in other lands, other uh, under different land ownership, and only a few areas are under forest department. And once we have around 700 square kilometer of mangroves in Kerala, now it's only 20 or 23 square kilometer. It's narrowed down to 23 kilometers, and most of these habitats are highly disturbed. And this, as you know, this Malabar coast is very unique in different micro habitats. Here we have even the sacred groups are there in within this mangrove ecosystem. As you know, it in most of the habitat, with respect to the availability of fresh water or to restrict the saltwater intrusion, mangrove plants are very unique. Even you can see it in Sundarbans. They are using this mangrove habitat or mangrove plants for getting this fresh water within the typical saline areas. This is such an area in this is in Kannur, where we have a mangrove sacred groups. Its name is Tareka. If somebody is there from northern part, you please to visit this unique habitat in Tarekawa region. And this is the general growth pattern. And apart from the mangroves, as you all know, this is the breeding habitat. It's an ecotone area because of the fish resources or some other marine resources are because of the richness of the mangroves in this small belt of coastal ecosystem in Kerala. And with respect to today, I'm planning to address the major two questions. As you all know, that mangroves, many of them are defined in mangroves. We have only two or three species, and the other one is mangroves that we are able to use this mangrove for restoring the river restoration program. And today, I'm planning to address these two questions. Is it possible to use the mangrove species to restore our river ecosystem? Never, because it require, as I mentioned earlier, it require the salinity and some other unique features along the ecotone areas of our coast in our freshwater area. And if we categorize the if we discuss about the restoration program of mangroves or as a to develop as a bioshield along the Malabar coast, we have to categorize it into different types based on its microhabitat peculiarities. Because mangroves, the typical true mangroves require clay soil, and in sandy area we have different microhabitat from our the just like our microhabitat there in Dharmadam beach. It's a drive-in beach, but in all other areas it's not at all possible. And in other area we have a pure white sands. So for the white sands we have a category of species. For the clay soil, the typical area of mangroves. And with respect to true mangroves, the distribution pattern that we have to distribute or plan, if we are planning a restoration program along the coastal belt, we have to plan such a bed where that based on its ecological growth and growth peculiarities. Some are front mangroves. We have three categories of mangrove. with respect to true mangroves, we have around 15 true mangroves are there so far known from Kerala, and among these 15 mangroves, a few are like Rhizophora and Abyssinia, which are front mangroves, which will thrive well in high salinity and high pH soil, and then intermediate zone is there, and then uh, towards the uh, landward zone is there, towards the interior zone the back mangroves, actually the back mangroves like Brugira and other so many species are there. So we are planning a restoration program in the mangrove habitat. We have to plan for a successful mangrove restoration plan. We have to plan accordingly based on the peculiarity of species. And this is an important photograph, and this person is totally dedicated for the conservation of mangroves. He is from Kannur, and as you know, as I mentioned earlier, most of the mangroves which are small, because most of our mangrove habitats are highly disturbed. This is one of the largest mangrove tree in Kerala. It's an Abyssinia officinalis. It's distributed along the Kuppam river on the side of Kuppam estuaries. And with respect to Kerala, the one of the most threatened habitat when compared to all the other habitats in midlands or in hill stations. Once there was 70 square kilometer of mangrove forest in Kerala. And recent survey, we have conducted a detailed survey for the last years. We have conducted detailed recent survey shows that there are only a few hectares of scattered mangroves in Kerala. Total is around the 23 square kilometer, mainly concentrated in some of the Periyar, histories of Periyar, and in the Kuppam and Valavattanam rivers. And majority of the areas under private ownership, and land conversion, changes in land utilization pattern, because these are all thickly populated area, high density, and there is a huge demand for the land, and land conversion or land changes, in land utilization pattern is very common in all these areas. And this is a small as part of conserving. See, we have so many initiatives from the council or the from forest department or from KFRI, different agencies. They are all working towards conservation of mangroves along the this coastal belt, and these are the as part of mapping the distribution pattern and major areas of mangroves in this region. So we have detailed survey in all the areas in Kuppam and in especially in northern Kerala, and identified the major population areas of mangroves in that region. And this is the broad outline of the current distribution pattern of mangroves. And it indicates the right side, the diagram indicates uh, the combination of rare or common species in across the various districts of Kerala. And this is the area of mangroves currently occurring in different districts of Kerala. Total around 723 square kilometer. And these are the a few details about the true mangroves, because all are still in see, they are all saying that, even amateurs or students, they are still saying that only few 4 or 5 mangroves in Kerala, because we are receiving call from different agencies, students, even from the administrators or some LSGs. And this is one of the uh, important species, a widely distributed species, a broad spectral species, Rhizophora mucronata, widely utilized for the restoration program. Very common, its peculiarities, its root system is very unique, and the fruit is a nutraceutical. Its name is Prandan or Pekandal. Hope the slides are visible. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is visible, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. This is another species of Rhizophora. It's Rhizophora apiculata. The fruit is very unique, very peculiar, but the distribution pattern is a comparatively a rare species in Kerala. The other one is Bruguera cylindrica, a more or less common species widely distributed along the Malabar coast and in all other island ecosystems. The other one is Bruguera gymnorrhiza. In Malayalam, it is Kuttikandal. And uh, compared to other species like Rhizophora or then Avicennia, it's comparatively rare. This is another interesting species of Bruguera. Its name is Bruguera sexangula. It's a very rare species. So far known only from a few locations in Alapi or in Kollam and in Kannur. Candelia candle, very unique because its unique shape of its fruits. Its name itself is Elthani candle, and it's a source of furniture, firewood, tannin, gum, dye, rayon, and so many other. It's a multi-purpose species. It's also a common species along the Malabar coast. The other one is an important tree, especially a tree in mangrove habitat, the Avicennia officinalis, one of the upper canopy tree in mangrove ecosystem. It's also used to furniture, firewood, tannin, gum, dye, and food other some other industries. Its name is Uppatti or Upputa because it excrete the salt excretes us there along the because as I mentioned earlier, all the mangroves has its own peculiarities to excrete the salt from its the vegetative parts. And this is the small variety of the Avicennia. It's Avicennia marina. It's a rare species. If we analyze the distribution pattern of mangroves across the Malabar coast or entire the other region of the including the Coromandel coast, Avicennia marina when compared to officinalis, Avicennia marina is a comparatively rare species. In Kerala, its distribution is restricted to a few population. So far, we have a few plants there and here and there. However, the major population areas there in some part of Kannur and in Ernakulam, and including the Kozhikode. The other one is its name itself is a Pookandal, source of honey. Its Aegisaras corniculatum. These fruits also edible. This other one is Soneratia cassiolaris, red flowered, tall tree. The other one is Soneratia alba. This is also a common species, mainly distributed in the in Ernakulam and in Kannur district. The food is a very good vegetable. Young fruits are vegetable, and also the mature fruits are used to prepare the pickles. This you can clearly identify using we have different field characters to identify these mangroves. So these are the unique new metaphors of Soneratia. This is a very rare species, so far known from a few islands in Kollam district, especially in Mangrove Island and in nearby areas. This is a toxic plant. Its name is Kandamutti. Its milky latex is highly toxic to, especially to our eyes. And at the same time, it's a high value medicinal plant. Its name is Exicoria aguilocha, a broad spectrum species, dioecious species, and that we can utilize for the restoration program effectively because of its peculiarity in its root system. Its root, stem, milky latex, all are useful in modern medicine also. This is a species, is a primary colonizer in all our mangrove habitats. It's Acanthus illicifolius. It's a shrub. Its name is Chullikondal with the beautiful flowers. And the vegetation pattern, as you can see clearly observe in our gut regions, we have different combinations like Hulinia, Palacium associations in the evergreen forest, or teak lagostomia associations in the deciduous forest. Here we have series of tegal or rhizophora combination. This is a photograph from Vincent Island, and clearly you can see the yellow colored the plant is Avicennia marina, and the other green colored one is the series of stagel, one of the rare species recently reported from the Vincent Island of Kollam district. Its population is a commendable population is there in other island ecosystem along the Coromandel and Malabar, the Lakshadweep, Maldives archipelago. This is another rare species. Non, it's an actually it's not a true mangrove. It's an intermediate of true mangrove and mangrove associates. Its distribution is especially towards restricted to towards the southern part of Kerala. This Shikariopsis indica, the synonym earlier name is Exocaria indica, and other one important species, Nipa fruticans. It's another locally extended species. The records are there in Mussooris excavations or in the records of Britishers that it's a multi-purpose species widely utilized for various purposes, including for its palm leaves and the toddy extracted from its roots and inflorescence. But the records indicate that earlier during the period of the Britishers or prior to that area, commendable population were there in along the Malabar coast. So far, see the recent survey indicates that so far there are it's a locally and extinct species, and recently we introduced a species which was collected fruits collected by developed seedlings developed out from the seeds collected from Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Now we have a commendable population of this species there in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. It's a typical multi-purpose, beautiful species. It's another rare true mangroves. And we have along the around 15, 16 true mangroves we have with the clear physiological peculiarities, including clear salt excreting mechanism and other uh, importance in the pneumatophores or the growth pattern. But we have associates around 50 species are there. Here I am now it's around 11:40. So just I'll quickly show some slides of a few mangroves of associate as part of a general awareness. This is an acrosticum aureum, the a very common mangrove associate and a primary colonizer. And this is an Erythrina fusca that you can. This distribution is restricted to some of the areas in our Alapi and a few areas in Kannur district. It's a very beautiful tree, and this is a mangrove cane. Its other name is a mangrove cane. It's a multi-purpose species. Just like we can use this, this is a climber. You can use this wood as a instead of this as the same utilization pattern in the case of cane. This is Dolichantran spathacea, another rare mangrove associate. And this is one of the Shimula, a species which we can utilize for it for the restoration at the same time with a utilization pattern and income generating species for the those who are residing in the or the coastal the people who are inhabited in the coastal belt. It's Pramna serratifolia. It's a nutraceutical. It's Vigna adinanda, another rare species. It's Canavalia cadaratica, another rare species. It's a maritime, the sandbinder, very good sandbinder along the coastal belt, especially in the sandy seashores. As I indicated earlier, we have different type of microhabitat from sandy seashores and typical mangrove clay soil habitat, and this is highly suitable for the sandy seashores. And this is another multi-purpose species which we can explore for it. medicinal properties, and we can raise the plantation. It's a win-win situation for the people, those who are residing in this habitat. It's a medicinal tree. At the same time, it will be very good bio, as a we can utilize it as a very good bio shield in this coastal region. This is a species of Annona. Now, in some of the area, like in our in Kanu region, is just like an invasive species. So we have to assess and survey the latest distribution pattern of this species in Kerala. This is another important poisonous plant. At the same times, fruits are used to prepare or extract insecticides in industrial basis. It's another a species of pandanus common in all the island ecosystem. A good species, a multi-purpose species for the as a bioshield and for other utilization pattern. The Scaviola serratia, another fast-growing species which we can highly prefer for the restoration program along the coastal belt. It's another important medicinal plant, Bacopa, especially in the associated wetlands in mangrove habitat. Is Barringtonia racemosa, and Adisia littoralis is another rare species, back mangrove associate. It's another woody climber in mangrove associate, but however it's very rare in almost all the area. Another multi-purpose interesting tree, an avenue plant that we can utilize for as an avenue tree along the coastal belt. Its fruit is important. The wood is very important with respect to the boat construction of boat and other things. And the peculiarity of is timber. The another species of Dalbergia. It's a Clerodendron, a very common species along the. It's a shrub, a gregarious shrub along the Malabar coast, and another species of Doris. And these are all the wetlands. See, these are a type of wetland, and the sedges and grasses are very common in almost all the habitat. This is a type of this is a very unique sedge. It's Eleocharis. Its name is Eleocharis dulcis, with very unique enforcement. This is another rare species. Its name is Heliotropium curasabicum. However, its distribution pattern is it's a rare species, a species of Boraginaceae family. It's a very rare in almost all the entire in its distribution range. Another multi-purpose tree in mangrove areas or the coastal belt. And these are the brief details. I know this. Sorry, it's 11:45. If you have a few questions, I will address it. So thank you for your patient hearing. This is the brief details about the diversity of mangroves, and this is for especially for beginners and especially with respect to restoration. Thank you.
Dear participants, now it is the time to interact. Please feel free to ask questions in any language that you would like, Malayalam or English, it would be okay. Or if you have any specific questions, you can post it in the chat box also. So please.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, please. Parayoo.
So myself, Adul, I'm from Fisheries College, Kufos, Panangad. Sir,
Okay.
actually, can you able to say how our mangroves helps in ocean acidification, helps to prevent ocean acidification?
Uh, uh, yes. Yeah. That as you know, ocean when compared to ocean acidification, that you can clearly indicate it's as it's a small strip of evergreen forest along the coastal line. It one way it protects the intrusions or the pollutants or the chemicals from the land. It helps to prevent the flow of pollutants from the terrestrial or the main or in the terrestrial ecosystem to the sea. Otherwise, it regulates by microbial process. It regulates the process there in the typical microhabitat. Other things are the detailed microecology. It's because, as you know, this is the tree, and along with the other species, it will uh, help to minimize the the extreme conditions which prevailing in this coastal ecosystem.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Abdul. Any more questions? Sujanapal sir, if you can
Yeah.
stop showing your camera would be visible, sir. We can be seen that.
Okay. Initially, I thought all are our, because they are not at all well aware of mangroves. That's why I preferred to explain about the diversity of mangroves on basic ecology. I think if you are, they are all from the means they are all, some of the experts are also there attending this program.
Sir, if they have any specific questions, they can ask, sir. Like Abdul did, anybody can ask them. So
Yeah,
please, participants, please
students, please, students.
come up and ask your questions, please. Sir, we have a question posted in the chat
How
box.
does mangrove help? Yeah, what is that?
Help local aquatic species of fishes apart from preventing in
Yeah,
soil.
the mangrove habitat, otherwise termed as the nursery of fishes. Because see, the mangrove habitat means it composed of the, see, the migratory birds are there, so many other microorganisms are there, leaf litters are there. It will help to feed the young hatchlings of the fishes, and so many other when compared to other habitats. So it's a it help to maintain the ecological equilibrium or ecological cycle in that particular habitat.
Sir, there is another question.
Yeah.
How does mangroves help local aquatic species of fishes apart from preventing in soil erosion?
Yeah, that's
Okay. Oh, okay. Another question is, sir,
uh,
since most of Kerala's mangroves are on private land, how can we encourage landowners to protect them instead of cutting them down?
yes. So we have two program. The one is as per the section 4 of Ecological Fragile Land Act, we can acquire the land by providing the compensation to the landowners. In otherwise, we can promote the multi-purpose for uh, as a support for the landowners. Government can provide some support for protecting them, like a carbon financing system that we can implement, especially in the mangrove ecosystem. Now this is an era of carbon financing, that which we can effectively utilize for protecting our conserving our mangrove habitats.
And another question, sir, are there any uninterfered
And in
system
our
of
Kerala
mangrove
Lakshadweep belt,
ecosystems?
oh, very sorry, in almost all the habitat in our Kerala, but see, we assess the phytosociological pattern of the mangroves, entire Malabar coast and island ecosystem up to Maldives. We have virgin islands in some of the areas of Maldives, because Maldives is an island ecosystem contain more than 1,400 islands. Many islands are virgin islands. That's why tall trees are there. Almost all the areas in our peninsular Indian coast, especially the Malabar coast and Coromandel coast, are highly disturbed. Okay.
Sir, and the question, sir, are there any aquatic animals or other animals like birds who are solely dependent on mangroves? That if something happens to mangroves, they might go extinct or are even endangered now.
Surely, so many species are distributed so far not only from the mangrove habitat, especially the micro means the with respect to fauna. I am not at all an expert in this field. However, from of our friends, I know that many of the species are so far known only from this habitat. So the conservation of mangroves is very important.
Okay, another question from
Apart
Atul,
from
sir.
all other ecological benefits, this is very important. Okay.
Sir, another question from Atul. Can you please explain about the mangrove yeast and microbes associated with mangroves and also its role?
Microbes and leaves. If you are asking some question about plants or other things, I will explain since I am not an expert in uh, microbes or an fauna and microbial organisms there in the mangrove ecosystem. I will share one number. You can contact him, Mr. Jafar Palot. He is an expert in the mangrove fauna.
Atul, you can write to us or write to sir also so we can connect.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Sir, another question. What is the current status of Pyracopsis indica?
Shicariopsis indica means Exocaria indica. Now we have a small population of Shicariopsis indica in some of the areas in Ernakulam and in Trivandrum. Now the we have successfully standardized the propagation technique, vegetative propagation techniques of Shicariopsis indica, and the work is going on to restore this species.
Sir, another question from Amala. How are the toxic mangroves being protected from falling into wrong hands?
Please, once, sorry, the voice.
How are the toxic mangroves?
Ah,
So you can see in the chat box also. How are the toxic mangroves being protected from falling into wrong hands?
okay. At the same time, if we check the peculiarities of each plant, most of this plant, these are some ecological peculiarities, the combination of different the characters and physiological pattern, and the all these are the part of that ecosystem that we can utilize effectively in a sustainable manner.
Yes, sir. Sir, another question. Where can we find Naipa in Malabar coast?
Um, uh, So far, it's a, as I mentioned earlier during my presentation, so far the Nipah fruticans is a locally extant species from the Malabar coast, but a few plants recently reintroduced in some of the areas in Paravur, and in some of the areas, a few, 3 or 4 plants are there. It's a reintroduced one, and seeds, its origin from Andaman. It's a typical native germplasm. It's a seedlings collected from Andaman.
There is another question, sir. I think it's also related to microbes. So can you please explain about bacterial isolation associated with mangrove vegetation?
So sorry, please contact some of the experts in microbes in mangroves. I'm actually a plant taxonomist or biologist,
Yes.
means especially the
It's
higher
not that
plants.
Dr. Sujanapal is actually a taxonomist, so you can pose questions in
Especially on the
that.
angiosperms, and actually I am working on the vascular plants, and in Kufos and in some of the Sedasai, the regional center there in Calicut, there are experts for fauna, especially the mangrove fauna and microbes.
You can write to Sanju, we can connect. So another question from Devika, sir. What is the primary mechanism behind the coastal squeeze phenomenon that threatens modern mangrove ecosystems?
Sorry, can you please? Your
What is
voice,
the primary?
I think its voice is breaking. That's why.
Okay. Sir, can you see the chat box, sir?
uh, yeah, just a
What
bit.
is the primary mechanism behind? Or I'll
Just a
read
bit.
it, sir.
Debiga. What is the primary
yes.
mechanism behind the coastal squeeze phenomenon that threatens modern what is the primary mechanism behind the coastal squeeze phenomenon that threatens modern mangrove ecosystem? That I will check.
Okay. Any more questions, dear participants?
Namaste.
Sir, another question, sir.
Ah.
Are there
Are
difference
there
between
difference between distribution of species in north and south area? Yes, because we have see as per our slide, for example, the Luminicera racemosa or Seriopsis tagal, which are so far known only from the southern part of Kerala. Restricted its distribution in a few islands in Kollam, and all the other species are distributed here and there along the Malabar, so along the Kerala coast. And the population wise, if we analyze the demography pattern or the population wise of each species, for example, Rhizophora mucoronata and Avicennia officinalis or Acanthus illicifolius, which are very common along the Malabar coast and also in Kerala. But other species, for example, the Brugira, Soneraceae, especially the Brugira sexangula, and uh, this species is a very rare species, is restricted in some patches of mangroves in Alleppey and in Kollam. Yeah. And in the case of Shikariopsis indicates the same pattern. This is restricted to southern part.
Sir, there is another question from Amala. Can you see that, sir? Is any of the plants being used as
Above Pratinidhi Dravya concept of substitute drug related to mangrove. These are, I think, these are all with the medicinal properties that we will check with some of the Ayurveda doctors, because we have some of the commercially high value species of they're in mangrove ecosystem like Pramna serratifolia or in Morinda citrifolia. As you know, Pramna serratifolia is one of Dashamula, and the Morinda citrifolia is a multi-purpose species. So species are there, but alteration and the other that type of things that we have to check.
Sir, we have another question from Matui. Which species of mangroves and its parts like fruits, flowers are edible and can be used to prepare processed food items?
Yeah, we have a list of species. For example, the fruits of viviparous. As you know, the fruits of mangroves are unique. It's a viviparous seeds. The fruits of Rhizophora, young fruits of Soneraceae, and young fruits of Aegiceras, all are edible, are a valued vegetable, and it's mature. The mature fruits of Soneraceae is widely used to prepare pickles. So we can effectively utilize the potential of mangroves, especially without disturbing this tree or a plant, that we can effectively utilize the potential.
Thank you, sir. Any more questions? Please speak out. Another question, what career or research opportunities are available in mangrove ecology and conservation for MSc Botany graduates?
Yes, now mangrove ecosystem is a developing area, because with respect to carbon sequestration and carbon financing, the mangrove ecosystem is very unique when compared to all other habitats. So we have a paper in Nature that the constant title, its author is Constanza et al., published during 1995, or then compared the author compared the ecosystem service of the various habitat in tropical region, especially from the forest and other mangroves. And as per our study, the mangrove ecosystem the most valuable one when compared to ecosystem services, and also the carbon sequestration. So many agencies are now working on carbon sequestration potential of the mangroves. Then yeah, so many questions. Which plant mangrove plants leaf fruit has the highest medicinal value? One question from Sangeeta. Sangeeta. Yeah, which part of mangrove plants has the highest medicinal value? That's varies with the species. That's varies with the species.
போய் உட்காந்து பெருசா 1 மணி நேரம் 1.5 மணி நேரம் அறுக்குறத புடிச்சு சீனியர் சார் இல்லங்க
Can we isolate worm fungi? Can we isolate worm fungi in the roots of mangrove plants? Possible that you please check it with some of the mycologists or the specialists in this sector. Is mangroves phyto, especially a few plants like typha that we can effectively utilize as a phytoremediation, as a plant for phytoremediation, and bacopa included by bacopa.
So there is another question, sir. How will rising sea levels affect Kerala's mangroves over the next 20 to 30 years?
How we can different. It is there in the chat box. No.
Yes, sir. It is from Praveen.
The last question or
No, before that, sir. You missed it out, sir.
can we isolate? One question from Dr. A. Karthikeyan. Can we isolate worm fungi? Already answered.
Before that, sir. Sorry. No, after that.
But, how can we identify mangrove species belong to different genera like Soneraceae alba and Casullaris? It's a very field characters are there. For Soneraceae, Casullaris, flower color is red. In the case of alba, it's white. Very easily you can identify the species by using this color. And also in the case of fruits, uh, the Soneraceae, the fruit of Soneraceae cassularis is more or less globose, means round. The other one is discoid, just like a disc. The taxonomy key is available. You please use it. Otherwise, you please send me a mail. I will share the appropriate literature for identifying the mangrove species.
Sir, I reposted that question from Praveen.
How will okay? How will rising sea level affect Kerala's mangrove? Yes, that's a very interesting question. Rising sea level affect Kerala mangroves. It's a serious issue. Not only it affect the mangrove, the entire coastal belt will be affected by rising this sea level.
Hello, dear participants. So, I thank you for your very active participation. So, since we are in short of time, we are winding up. But if you have any specific questions, or if you have to connect with anybody, like those who are working in microbes or anything like that, you can
Yes.
either write to
Some
me,
other
connect with
some other groups, especially the fauna and microbes, they can contact consultant. Yeah.
or you can directly write to Dr. Sujanapal, for which we would be giving you the necessary contacts, or we will be guiding you to further things. So, can we take one last question, sir?
Yeah, surely.
We have, how are local fishing communities involved in mangrove conservation, Kerala?
Yes, that's very important question. The mangrove, our fishermen communities are the direct beneficiaries of the mangrove ecosystem. As you know, the mangroves are the nurseries of the fishes, including all the marine fauna, means including prawns. So the unique type of fish diversity is there. By protecting the mangroves along the bunds or in the ecosystem in nearby area, they can effectively utilize for the utilize as a fishing area. And also, as you know that the people those who are cultivating rice or some other unique cultivation practice are there, like Pokali or in Kaipad cultivation is going on in some of the area. For protecting the Kaipad cultivation, mangrove ecosystem is highly essential, especially the mangrove trees or mangrove plants. So actually, conservation and utilization is a win-win situation for the our fishermen and also all the inhabitants in the coastal belt, especially in the mangrove patches.
So, thank you, sir.
Th-
So now invite Mr. Namal from our EIACP hub to propose the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of KCST EIACP PCF Kerala, I sincerely thank our respected Member Secretary, Dr. P. Harinarayan sir, for his valuable presence and encouragement. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our resource person, Dr. P. Sujanapal sir, Senior Principal Scientist, Kerala Forest Research Institute, for delivering an informative and engaging section. My sincere thanks to Dr. Sharon Madam, KCP Kerala Coordinator, for her guidance and support in organizing this webinar. I also thank the ACP Co-Coordinator Dr. Ajish Sir and ACP staff and all KCST faculty members for their dedicated efforts in making this program a success. Finally, I thank all the participants for joining us and making this webinar meaningful. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Shall I
sir.
leave?
Thank you all participants.
Yeah. Shall I take a leave?